Hello. How to do Sire's visions relatively easily. Seen a few people struggle with this because the Oni is just an absolute hang. The best way to deal with the Oni is to actually strip its defenses, which you can't really do with conventional methods. I've tried shattering impacts on the Sarpa, doesn't work. Armor strip abilities, doesn't work. So here I'm using the Electron Prime Incarnon with the 4th evolution, remove 20% of enemy armor per puncture status. Works like a charm. Now you can pretty much use any frame you want with this kind of setup because I'm using a Zorus here to nuke the absolute shit out of everything. So crowd control not needed. The best crowd control is dead. Dead enemies. Who would have thought? Just to quickly show the build for the Zorus, it's a bit of a funky build because it's using the new galvanized mods. And here's the Electron Prime build. Just quickly. We're modding for gas because that is what the Deimos infected are weak against, and that is what we're fighting against. We're fighting against the Deimos infected. Infested. Sentinel, whatever, doesn't really matter. You can use whatever you want. I'm just using Nautilus and Hellstrom. I'm going to do it solo, but you can do this in a team setup, which would probably be faster. I'll show the frames first. I'll show the gameplay quickly, and then I'll show the builds of each frame at the end. These are just my suggestions of which frames work best. First, starting with Nova. Fantastic crowd control frame. Here's a quick tip that you can use. You can pick up one offering with your Warframe, and then the other offering with your Operator, and then you can drop both off at the same time, just like that. Beautiful. Between Nova's Molecular Prime and the Zorus, we've got plenty of crowd control. I need to get the enemies off of A. Get out of here. Start attacking the Oni. There you go, now he's got no armor. Let's see how much damage we're doing. Pretty good damage. Not the best, but also not the worst. It's adequate damage, adequate. Let's do some molecular priming here so I can get these enemies off me. There we go, that's one dead Oni. Pretty easy. Not too much of a challenge, and it did take 10 minutes to kill the Oni. So that's around 6.5 minutes, not terrible. Not the best, not the worst, pretty good. Also, the weapons can vary. You can use things like the Fenmore, for example. I actually think the Fenmore's a little bit better than the Electron Prime if the Oni is armor strip. But yeah, you can use the Fenmore, you can use the Latham. Just your generic, big, heavy hitting weapons are all good in the hood. Next Warframe I would recommend for this event. Revenant, obviously. Next frame I would recommend is Siren, a health tank Siren. Now, Siren can buff your weapons through the Yazoo, so when you're not using crowd control frames like Nova, the Zorus really does come in clutch here for just clearing out the objective as quickly as possible. So you can get that timer ticking down once again. See how much damage we're doing with the Zor? Not the Zor, the Zorus. Pretty good. Could you stop moving, please? Accept your fate. Be pretty good damage with Siren. Not the worst. There you go, pretty good damage. Get out of here. Silly boy. And we got it done a little bit quicker than the Nova. You did. Why does it say no deaths? I definitely died. Whatever. Honorable mentions go to Chroma, Dante for his Overguard, any health tank really, Grendel, Jade I imagine would be pretty good, Kalervo with his crazy melee damage, although survivability might be a little bit of an issue. Rhino, obviously Revenant Prime for his immortality, Trinity for the energy and damage resistance for the whole team, Valkyrie would be kinda nice, Volt built for health, Vorban, Wukong, sure. Why not? Wisp for the health regeneration and large health bonus. So my final pick is actually Oberon, which is a little bit of a strange one. I'm actually going to show Oberon in a team game where he shines. It's a little bit of an odd pick, but there's just something about Oberon I really, really enjoy. So yeah, Oberon's a pretty good pick. I'm using Silence on his Subsume ability, and you'll notice a hell of a lot less toxin procs going around because of that. Soundtrack goes insanely hard. True that. Now the whole team can do more additional damage thanks to that armor strip. Fantastic. There you go. So yeah, even with an Oberon, pretty high damage output. Now I'll just quickly show the builds. Okay, so there's the Nova Prime health tank build that I was using. It just uses Null Star for that 90% damage reduction, Eclipse for damage or damage reduction, depending on what you want, and Molecular Fission to restore charges to Null Star. Pretty standard build, using Molt Reconstruct for a bit of healing. Shut up, Aldous! There's the Saturn Prime health tank build, using a Nourish, although Raw or Eclipse would be better here, because Deimos Infested actually take less damage from Viral. So this is what I was using, Venom Dose for that big corrosive damage buff, 269% extra damage from corrosive, you get that 80% damage from Toxic Lash, and then of course you get the 121% damage increase from Viral, although Eclipse would be better. And then I'm using, I believe this one? No, I'm not, I'm using Anti-Infested, so I'm using this for the Oberon build.
Angry.
Ordis, I swear to God, I will slap you. I will fucking slap you, go away. I'm using Ready Steel here in the aura, which will help buff the Zorus even more with that additional combo, so we get that up to 6 times. This is just the, this is the general build I'm using here for the Oberon Prime. You'd be surprised how many people I have saved with Phoenix Renewal from dying. It's actually pretty beautiful, pretty handy on this game mode, because those Toxin procs, man, they fuck people up. That was just a very brief and quick sort of rundown of what's effective. If you're running a setup like this, you'll be good. Just something to nuke the enemies. Big, powerful weapons, Latron, like Incarnons, generally. Just your biggest, hardest hitting weapon seems to do the trick. I saw somebody using a Bubonico, that one's pretty good too. And then I'm using the Zorus to clear out enemies. And you'll notice that the Zorus was either at a 5 times or 6 times combo. It's because I'm using new galvanized mods like Galvanized Reflex. So then I can take advantage of Blood Rush, which boosts my critical crit chance even more, because I'm using Galvanized Steel, which gives us that 120% additional crit damage bonus. But we do lose a lot of crit chance, because before I was using Sacrificial Steel, so we're losing, you know, almost 30% crit chance there. So I want to get that back with Blood Rush, and Blood Rush in combination with Galvanized Reflex, because we get that 5 to 6 times combo multiplier, which then allows Blood Rush to do its job. Anyway, that's it for this video. Just a quick rundown. This is probably doing most of the heavy lifting, removing the armor of the Oni. Greatly, like, removing its defenses seems to really make a big difference, so keep that in mind. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you. Bye-bye.